Welcome to the Blessed or Messy channel. Some of y'all is blessed and some of y'all is messy. I'm blessed and we are going to do a book review of If I Rule the World by Amy DuBois Barnett. This is her debut novel and it is juicy. DuBois Barnett worked in the publishing industry in various roles and in the top positions of executive in chief. I was wondering while reading this book and listening to it if this was her story wrapped in a fiction book. The book takes us on a journey inside the hip-hop world of the 1990s. The 90s was an iconic decade for music. Quit playing. The book gives us an insider look inside the white and black magazines of that era. Before I get into my thoughts on the book, please be sure to share, like, and comment. At least do one of the three. It's a book by a black author. I'm reviewing it in Black History Month, and I'm a black woman. Seriously, it's important that we support each other's work, so thanks in advance. If you so inclined, stay to the end. I want to share a YouTube episodic series, if I could talk. I'll start and would love your feedback, and particularly from black women. The novel, If I Rule the World, it follows Nikki Rose, a woman in her late 20s, navigating the complexities of being biracial, born to a black mother and a white father. She identifies unapologetically as black. Nikki Rose's racial identity shapes how she is perceived and how she moves through this novel. It brings privilege and prejudice. Her white colleagues at Stylist magazine regard her as not quite good enough, although she outworks and outshines them. Black peers or underlings, because she's the editor-in-chief at the magazine Sugar, assume she's goofy or believe thinks she's better than them. As a teenager, she is taunted by black teens who refer to her as a high yellow you-know-what. At an HBCU, her roommate initially treats her like she's not black, but she proves to be blacker than black. Blacker than blacker than blacker than. The industry music execs, the rappers, they are fascinated with her light skin and her long hair. I'm glad the novel avoided the tired trope of the biracial character choosing sides. Nikki is neither trying to act white or she ain't trying to act black. She is not confused about her identity. Other people are. And yes, this is a spoiler alert. The story starts with Nikki Rose working at a white magazine called Stylist, where she is the only one, the only magic Negro. The racism and jealousy is terrible. The magazine wants no part of any black person or their stories until the sales begin tanking. Sound familiar? Nikki earns a promotion, but she walks away, which was a courageous move because people saw her move as a step down because she went to Sugar, the black magazine. Nikki is the one who pursued the position at Sugar, and it's a step down in pay, but it's a step up in the position. She becomes editor-in-chief, what she always wanted to be. And she knew it would be different coming from a white magazine with a larger budget, but she didn't yet know she was jumping from the frying pan to the skillet. Or is it the skillet to the frying pan? The black magazine, just like the white magazine she worked at before, is running out of money. She's hired as, like I said, the editor-in-chief, but it's on a 6-month trial period. And she only got a few months to prove herself. This is where I really started rooting for Nikki. She had to overcome the haters and the doubters as Stylist. She had to overcome her jealous ex-married lover, friend of her parents. We'll circle back to him. He is Alonzo. I was rooting for her to succeed because she is a likable character. I wanted every weapon formed against her, Alonzo, any one of her boyfriends, her predecessor at Sugar Magazine, the jealous people, the haters. I wanted them all to go down. And they did, one by one. Nikki's target audience for the magazine would have been young black women in their teens and 20s who loved hip-hop culture. That was me. If that was you back in the 90s, that's all the more reason you'll be rooting for Nikki. Nikki's journey was difficult because of racism and sexism, but also because of how she got her first industry break. Her first break came when her mother asked a favor from a childhood friend, Alonzo. Yeah, that Alonzo I said I'd circle back to. Her mother had remained friends with Alonzo into adulthood. She attended his wedding, and they went to each other's social gatherings. Nikki Rose's mother was married to her white father, and Alonzo was married, but their friendship still lasted. Who is Alonzo? Alonzo, we find out, is a big wig in the publishing industry, and Nikki's mom, as I shared, had asked him to help her get a job. He helped her get a job and helped himself to her. They got into an entanglement, a sexual relationship where he's dominant and makes her fulfill his sexual desires. At one point, he forces himself on her. Nikki breaks it off with Alonzo because her parents caught them together. They caught them at an ice cream shop licking ice cream off each other's hands. The main reason she breaks it off is because of his sexual deviant, but also because her parents, she's embarrassed. I do not know why, for the life of me, why Nikki Rose's parents don't put hands and feet on Alonzo when they caught them together. Maybe because they, are college professors and they all that. Let me back up and say we found out about Alonzo in the prologue, but that's just FYI. Alonzo is angry about being dumped, that he spreads rumors about Nikki Rose being a being that H word, and he attempts to sabotage every job in the industry that she gets, including the job as stylist and as sugar. He told both magazines not to hire her. He tells every dude in the industry she's easy. It's true, he helps her get into the publishing industry, but she did what it took to stay there. However, the fact remains that she did sleep with him to get into the industry, and people are talking behind her back and telling it to her face. Is it deserved? Question mark, question mark, question mark. In the story, Nikki does get her freak on, and she has an industry hookup or two, but I view that as her being in control of what she wanted sexually. As Sugar, Nikki goes to the school of hard knocks. On day one, her staff doesn't respect her. They rude, they ghetto. Barbara, the publisher, who is a whole trip, her character was something else. If she thought the white publisher was bad, and she was, they call her Lucifer, the black woman was also bad. She said the people working at the magazine when Nikki would whine about their insubordination. Listen to what Barbara says about her magazine staff. Most of them have never seen the best of anything, certainly not in publishing. Now that's cold-blooded. I know I called them ghetto. But when Nikki fires and hires to get the right people, they are top tier, outdoing stylists. The previous editor-in-chief, a former model, has no clue how to run Sugar. Her staff did what they wanted. There was typos in the writing. The overall quality of the magazine was just not up to par. She then went from the frying pan to the skillet to the fire. Fathering her hard knock training, as part of her position, she needs to network. So she started going to industry parties, and that comes with drinking and hooking up with industry guys and more mistakes. But with the help of her diverse group of friends, shout out to her sister friends. Each one, they was unique, and they helped her in various ways. Nikki started an editor's note at the end of each magazine. Her editor's note not only helped her in all kinds of situations, it helped her untangle her life. It helped her understand her relationships, how she played her friends, how she disappointed her mother. It helped her understand future moves and how to outsmart Alonzo. She comes to fully understand how getting involved with him was a big mistake. She realizes he S.A.'d her. She becomes a leader, less of a pushover, and makes more power moves. She learns it's okay to take up space as a black woman. The author, Amy DuBois Barnett, does not call this a coming of age tale. She calls it a coming of power. And that's a good way to frame it, because in the end, that's exactly what happens as she outplays the player and takes down Alonzo. In a way, though, this novel has a coming of age, or should I say coming of wisdom feel to it, because the character makes dumb mistakes. Luckily, they don't define her, they refine her. I enjoyed this novel. Certain chapters were page turners. However, I likely wouldn't have picked up this book, let alone moved it to the top of my to be read list, if not for the Read This, Read That podcast, which first brought it to my attention and announced an upcoming book discussion for the readers. It's what Joy Reid and Jackie Reid refer to their subscribers as readers, REIDERS. I wouldn't have picked up the book either because I didn't like the cover. It was giving Tyra Banks in the big city, Sex and the City vibes, and I wasn't on it. When I got into the book, I love the nostalgic feeling and the love letter to hip hop, because even though there were clearly some no good, you know what, the music is iconic. This is no shade to Tyra, and I haven't seen the documentary, but I usually wouldn't get into a story about fashion magazines, although this story was so much more than that. It did take a couple of chapters for me to get into the book, and once I did, like I said, it was a page turner, and I wanted to see what was next. You always wanted to know what was happening next, and who the real life celebrities the book's characters were copied after. If it wasn't a good book, I wouldn't have finished it. Part of the book I read and part I listened to. I enjoy reading books, but when I'm pressed for time, I gotta do both. At the time I was reading this book, I also listened to the audiobook of The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. The audiobook came down my timeline, and so I juggle back and forth between the books. They are different, but they have some similarities. At another date, I might do a deep dive on the characters in both books. Speaking of characters, Barbara, the publisher of Sugar, was something else. Definitely an interesting character, more so than the white boss Lucinda, aka Lucifer, because we've seen her before. Familiar tropes. The book does have some familiar tropes, which may be comforting or off-putting. I would have liked more done or said about the female rappers during this era, how some of them contributed to the misogyny and how some of them changed or helped reshape it. I would have liked to see Nikki's mom and dad, I said this before, put hands and feet on Alonzo, seriously tell his wife and cause him hell, because I guess since they were dignified college professors, they let it slide. I was glad this book had a nice happy ending because I was rooting for Nikki, and I'm glad she came out on top. I took a lot more notes for this book, and I will do another review and stretch out. Now allow me to do my pitch. I love to hear your thoughts on the book If I Rule the World and my pitch. And thanks for sticking around. Okay, so here's my thing. I'm wrapping up an episodic YouTube series built around one woman, one porch, and a whole lot of unexpected turns. Meet Lisa. She's the same age as Nikki Rose, seasoned, sharp, unbothered. Every episode opens the same way. Lisa on her porch after work, shoes off, shoulders down, exhaling the day. It's her ritual, her stage, her front row seat to the neighborhood in transition. Rush hour hums, engines idle, music thumps from passing cars. The street is alive. On Fridays, she turns it up. Wine poured, blunt lit, book cracked. The porch becomes a vibe. Lisa doesn't do bars. She doesn't do apps. She's done the marriage, survived long-term relationships, been there, signed out, closed that chapter. Now she's open, not thirsty, not pressed, just open. Friends, a date, maybe a hookup if the energy is right. And on our street, the energy always shows up. Men slow their cars, window roll down, compliments fly, Lisa flirts back, depending. That's her dating blueprint. No apps, no algorithms, just eye contact, timing, and a little porch magic. But here's the twist. The men Lisa meets, they always start normal, and they never end that way. What began as a casual banter spins into a layered story, secret surprises, left turns that you won't see coming. Each episode peels back another assumption about love, about hooking up, and so much more. This is a thriller tentatively called Porch Stories. So thank you for sticking around. Some of y'all is blessed. Some of y'all is messy. I'm blessed and I'm out. Leave your thoughts.